Welcome to a triumphant and nostalgic look back at Warzone's greatest moments. Together, we're going to look back at 8.5 of the greatest moments of Warzone 1, and these aren't going to be in any chronological order, by the way. They'll simply be my personal opinion, going from rank 8 to rank 1, and who knows, maybe we'll get a bonus one in there as well. So like I say, we will be jumping around the timeline just a little bit. And of course, because they are just my opinion, you've got to let me know in the comments what you think. What are your best Warzone 1 moments, and how do they look compared to mine? Okay, now let's actually start, and we're starting with number 8, and actually it's gonna be the release date and day 1 of Warzone. What an amazing moment for every Call of Duty fan or Battle Royale fan in general, a huge Battle Royale game for free on all platforms, and just as the pandemic started. People needed a distraction, being stuck at home with more time on their hands, and oh boy, did Warzone deliver a distraction. Not only were the early days of Warzone 1 such a good moment because of the pandemic and a distraction and all that kind of thing, but because it was so early on in the game, no one really knew what they were doing. And that was great! There was no meta or insane movement mechanics. We wandered around with strange loadouts and slide cancelling wasn't a thing. The most meta we got was running M4s and thermal HDR snipers. And this made every game feel different and made the wins feel amazing. It's unlikely we can ever replicate the thrill of the early days of Warzone 1 again in Call of Duty, without a huge change up to Warzone that is, and for that reason, this is why the early days of Warzone 1 had to be in the greatest moments. Next up at number 7 we have the Outbreak Event, which began in Season 2 of Black Ops Cold War. During this event we had the new location called Shipwreck, which was a Soviet-era cargo ship named Vodyanoi. I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but let's not worry about it. So this ship was missing for decades and suddenly reappeared in modern day. You might remember it was infested with zombies, which basically tried to kill anyone near them. The best part about this was that you could activate zombie events and get legendary loot rewards for wiping them out. The event itself came with various challenges you could get rewards with too, such as calling cards and charms and all that kind of thing. Now the reason this event made it to the greatest moments of Warzone 1 is simply because it actually changed the gameplay loop a little bit, as well as the map. Any changes to the map were very welcome with me, and the gameplay changes actually evolved over the season, since we had the zombies spread from Shipwreck to the hospital and eventually the dam. It really freshened up the game and added some great narrative to the Warzone story, which is actually where number 6 of Warzone's greatest moments comes in, and that's with the destruction of Verdansk event. This was an amazing part of Warzone 1, and it was great to be part of the story and actually playing it out, rather than just see it in a cutscene. The destruction of Verdansk event came just after the Outbreak event, following the narrative of, we have to destroy Verdansk to stop the zombies. This event came in 2 parts. Part 1 involved a zombie royale game mode on Verdansk, where players were forced to avoid both the gas as well as the radiation in various corruption zones. Players who died in this mode would become zombies and would be able to kill both enemy humans, which of course turned them into zombies, and zombies could also kill other zombie players. This match would last for about 10 minutes before the safe area would be reduced to the dam, where anyone that wasn't a zombie would be ordered to exfil before a nuclear missile would launch. This would end the match, then a cutscene would play showing Verdansk being nuked. Then the very next day we had the destruction of Verdansk Part 2. This time we got to play on a playlist on a night's version of Rebirth Island, which chronologically took place 10 minutes before Part 1. The aim of this mode was to hold onto a device that would eventually lead to the arming of the nuke, the one that blows up Verdansk. At the end of the game, the nuke would detonate on Verdansk, and that's when we got the cutscene reversing time back to Verdansk 1984. Then all the players left in the match got put into a Verdansk 84 mini royale game. This event had some fun gameplay, and it was our first experience of Call of Duty moving Warzone on with a new Call of Duty title, going from Modern Warfare 2019 to Black Ops Cold War. Now we're on to number 5, and I've gone for Operation Monarch. And And if you don't remember what that was, it was the King Kong vs Godzilla event on Caldera. This event was during Season 3 on Vanguard, and was a spectacular, if not quite weird, battle on the Caldera map. I thought this had to make it into the list of greatest moments just for the sheer scale and theatre of the event. It felt like a pretty high-end event compared to some of the others, and allowed us to interact with Godzilla and King Kong in a dedicated playlist. So in this mode, like normal Battle Royale, we would just drop from the plane on Caldera and take on other squads. The twist was Godzilla and King Kong would be actually on the map as well and could kill us, but we could also damage them as well, and the more damage we did, the more stuff we got. From gas masks and loadouts to the ultimate kill streak where we could direct one of the monster's attacks ourselves to a certain part of the map. This meant we could use Godzilla's fire breath or throw a huge boulder with King Kong to defeat our enemies. I mean, even saying it now sounds pretty ridiculous in a Call of Duty game. This event also altered parts of the Caldera map, giving it a legacy past just the playlist. The only downside to the event, in my opinion, is that I would have liked King Kong and Godzilla and the event in general to interact with the normal playlists a little bit more. That being said, it was a very memorable event in Warzone 1, particularly for the Caldera era. Okay, we're officially halfway through, and if you are liking the video, by the way, please, well, like the video, and of course subscribe for more Call of Duty content. I don't normally ask for things like that, but this video did take a little bit more time to piece together. Anyway, now for number 4, and I've gone for an Easter egg on Verdansk, specifically the secret subway station at the Dam Easter egg, which was triggered in the downtown city hall. We had a lot of Easter eggs and fun things to do and find on Warzone 1, which kept us guessing with theories of what was going to happen in the story and on the map, and I could have chosen any from a long list of Easter eggs really, but I chose the secret station Easter egg because of its complexity, difficulty, and level of reward. This wasn't just a keycard and go to a bunker kind of Easter egg. This took planning, coordination, sweat, tears, and perseverance. If you don't quite remember how this Easter egg works, let me explain, although you will have to stick with me because it does get a little convoluted. It worked by going to the town hall in downtown first and typing 2179 into a keypad on the wall. This would then lock the doors of the building and gas would begin to flood the room. From that moment, you had 2 minutes to complete a puzzle or you would die. The puzzle involved receiving a sequence from a monitor which corresponded to numbers underneath paintings in the building. You would have to run around and collect them, add and subtract the numbers where necessary according to the instructions you were given, then inputs the final number into the machine, but even this would be done by moving pieces of a fragmented image together, so it really wasn't straightforward. Then if we did do all that, we'd have to go to the airport metro station, interact with the computer and override the terminal, so that the next train that pulls up to the station will take you to the magic loot room, i.e. the secret station. The hidden station had insane loot, including a firebrand brew and blueprint, juggernaut kill streaks, specialist tokens for all the perks in the game, advanced UAVs, and much more. The payoff was well worth it with this Easter egg, which is why it made number 4 on the list. For number 3, we're actually staying in downtown in Verdansk, sort of, because number 3 is the 80s action hero event, which came with John McClane from Die Hard, Rambo from, well, Rambo, and brought the absolutely enormous Nakatomi Plaza from Die Hard into downtown. This was a great moment in Warzone 1 for all kinds of reasons. It injected some amazing new operators for one, but the change to downtown with Nakatomi Plaza gave us another game-changing mechanic with the rewards available in its vault. You could get in the vault and get these rewards in a few different ways, either by killing AI in the basement or defusing C4 on the roof. Either way, when you did get to the vault, you got a guaranteed over 100k cash and a specialist token granting all the perks on the game for every member of your team. Obviously, this made it a very popular place to drop and made for some insanely hectic and fun games. For a few weeks, it became normal to see Rambo flipping people off the helipad at Nakatomi Plaza, whilst at least 10 John McClanes were hanging around in the air vents. Without a doubt, this event and this moment in Warzone is top 3. Now we're getting seriously near the end, but for number 2, I've gone with a competitive moment in Warzone 1, and that was the solo YOLO tournament won by Scum. This was a competitive tournament on Verdansk and included 150 top players dropping solo, with the winner getting $100,000. We had some great competitive moments throughout Warzone 1, but this was probably the peak in terms of the nature of the victory and the fact that Warzone was at its peak in terms of popularity. Now let's all relive the final moments of the event.
If he can get
Okay, there we go. There he is.
Nice stun.
Oh, it's a stun v stun.
Hit it.
Oh,
Hit
he's
it.
missed.
Nice. There's the win.
Oh, I mean, people got to rotate that way.
Nice snap. My God. 3 other players remaining. And he's in a good position to do this.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh!
Use the mask.
Gas mask. You got a gold one.
Take your time. We're in the top 4. Top 4. Oh, the mask. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I don't know what's happening. Somehow this person's still alive. He has a stun, though. Another Simtex. That hit, I think. He got him. He downed him.
Oh, that's us. 1v1. 1v1.
This guy's playing a COD Champs final. This is the most intense moment of his life. Scump for the win.
Oh, that player's got a shield.
Oh! He wins it! He wins it! Scump gets the dub!
Just fantastic. And the winner just had to be Scump, didn't it? The poster boy of the competitive Call of Duty scene for about a decade. Whew. Okay. We're nearly there. It's number 1. But just before we do get there, we still have the 0.5 of the 8.5 best moments. You didn't forget the bonus one, did you? For this, I couldn't give it a full place in the greatest moments, simply because not everyone did enjoy it. And actually, it probably drove most people crazy, but it was our only Christmas event. And that's Festive Fervor. I've loved a lot of Warzone 1 events, but especially the ones that actually change the gameplay loop. So it's not just the same game again and again every time you drop. Now, Festive Fervor did deliver that, whether you like it or not. With the implementation of Christmas trees full of loot, which were heavily fought over, or Krampus chasing people down for minutes on end, it definitely changed the normal games. I look back fondly on this time, but I probably had a few moans about it at the time too. You've got to let me know what you think of this event. Did it deserve a whole slot of its own, or should I have just not included it? Now, an event that was universally loved has taken the number 1 slot, and many to this day still regard it as peak Warzone, the haunting of Verdansk. That's right, the Halloween events that kind of set the benchmark for future events to be compared to. We had a dark and moonlit version of Verdansk, which had puddles of blood dripping from ceilings, ghosts in buildings, and a ghost train in some locations. There was even jump scares from loot boxes to keep us on our toes.
What is on my screen?
The store had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Saw film operators, making the whole thing even creepier. Then we had the Zombie Royale playlist, giving us the chance to come back as a zombie if we died, and possibly return to human form. This led to end games of just pure chaos, as teams tried to survive against all of the dead players as zombies. So for uniqueness, store content, free content from event challenges, map changes, and gameplay changes, it just has to be number 1. But obviously these greatest moments were subjective, so let me know your best Warzone 1 moments down in the comments. And now that you've finished up here, why don't you check out this video looking at all the map changes we ever had in Verdansk.